What do you mean she's not that bad? It's kind of like a warm Bud Light. Still drink it, but it's not the best.
Big nugget, stale smell, that kind of feel.
Hey, why use orange?
Yeah, it means. Shut up. Hey, Beavis.
Knock it off, Beavis. Yeah.
One, and welcome again to Midwest Mayhem. I am Tron Smith. He is Chad Christensen.
Let's go, baby.
And I'm telling you, I may still be full from Thanksgiving.
Hey, what did you have for Thanksgiving?
We're not getting into that. Before this thing goes, I'm just going to try to talk without bringing up that conversation. We're not going to have that conversation.
You're gonna go there.
I say this. I really did have a good time over Thanksgiving. I tell you, one of the neatest things that we did here at Wilson Toyota is we took the time to ask our employees what they were thankful for. And I'll tell you, man, I think the video was posted. I think Riley did a really good job of getting that posted on there. If you want to check out that video, you should definitely go to Instagram at Wilson of Ames. It is also on TikTok, which is at Wilson Toyota of Ames. And just while we're here, remember Facebook is also at Wilson Toyota of Ames, and Twitter, again, is at Wilson of Ames. And of course, I can't leave you without saying, if you really want to get down with it, get down. Definitely get together with at Big Strong. That's 2 G's when you're as big as I am. That's on Twitter. And I'm gonna tell you this: if you really want to get to me on that Insta chat, it's at Big Strong 1 again, 2 G's. Good at that. But before we go on, man, I just want to say that, man. But it's a great video. You should go check it out. And again, I always want to thank our sponsor, Wilson Toyota.
Absolutely.
Denny and Danny. Again, they give us the space. They give us the content. They give us the ideas a lot of times, and then they give us this great.
The ability to do it.
Manufacturer line to talk
love
about.
it.
So, again, Wilson Toyota, 2212 South Duff Avenue, just a short drive from anywhere in the metro. Make sure you stop down and do that. And make sure you check out those videos on our all of our social media. It's great to do. But it was really neat to hear the guys talk.
It was interesting how many things were said differently, but it was actually the same content.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Well, I can tell you, as a leader, the one thing that really touched me, a lot of things, there was a lot of things that touched me, but for me, some of the things that were said personally about me really meant a lot to me, right? Because I kind of really, I pride myself in helping people, not just with what they do, but just people in general, so that really meant a lot to me. But to also hear how many of our employees really enjoy our workspace. We talk about culture and how important it is.
Yeah,
so to put someone on a video and no one else know where the video is going, and then just hear them say what they're thankful for, and to hear our store come up as a store in general. Right.
I thought it was pretty cool that we came up with that and did it all. It was actually a little bit of reflection for everyone. It's been a tough 2 to 3 years with everything that's going on, and just to hear everyone be positive was pretty cool.
Well, I give credit to where credit's due. I won't say the name anymore, but there was one specific driver and they know who they are. So great job. Great job on doing that. That was a great idea.
Perfect.
The other thing I thought was awesome, like super awesome, and I'm not going to take any credit for this. This is you, and again, that person again, and Armando. You guys, and if you just share it with our folks.
Sure.
Tell us about this turkey giveaway.
So this is my second year doing it, and we went over to Marshalltown, Iowa, and we hand out turkeys to people that honestly need turkeys. We went over there. There were a couple other people involved with us, and it was really neat. Fire department, police, a bank, the radio station, and ourselves from Wilson. And when I say we were there 2 hours early, and there was probably 50 to 90 cars in line, 2 hours early, and we just split it up, have a good time, wish everybody a happy holiday, and give turkeys out.
That's awesome.
And it's very satisfying to see someone genuinely appreciate the fact that you're handing them something that a lot of people take for granted anyway.
Yeah. And even a bigger situation here this year with the way that things are increased in the cost. So that was awesome. Now, I always like to get a little twist of things. It just put a little smile on people's faces. And you can tell me if I'm wrong or not, but a little birdie told me that there was actually a bike in line of that. turkey.
There was a bike that came through and he had a cart in the back and he actually tried to get more than one turkey in his cart.
Well, you know what I always say in the car business and any other sales business, it never hurts to ask.
That's right.
That's a good thing. But you look at people like that, and you are very thankful for who you are and what you have and things like that, and it really does keep you in perspective. So I appreciate you all.
And I'm going to jump in here to say, if anyone ever has the opportunity to do things like that, to give back, no matter what it is, it is self-satisfying too. As far as doing it, it just makes you appreciate what you have around you.
Yeah, and I'll say I truly appreciate again Wilson Toyota for their sponsorship
100%.
and they're part of that and allowing us to be a part and truthfully thank you and Armando and Riley for going over there and taking your time, and our driver went with you.
Yeah, we had more people go to do stuff with us this year, which was kind of cool because they volunteered themselves.
Yeah,
which was neat.
It's kind of neat when you don't have to get a list.
Yeah.
Sign up on the sign-up sheet, please. Right? So it's kind of great to get into that. And after that, and here's the deal, man. So a big part of me, right? I want to talk about our Christmas party, but I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not, because something's bothering me.
Oh.
And I think I got next week, I can just deal with Christmas, our Christmas party, and because we'll be after Christmas, so that's a little better. That'll be. Here's my thing, okay? I want to talk about aftermarket products. I know.
Here we go.
I know.
Aftermarket.
So it's just been on my mind, right? I think about aftermarket products because every day you get these different vendors and they come in and they have the next best thing that's going to be great for the automotive industry. And you know what? Some of them do have the next best thing. I will bring up Zip Deal. When Zip Deal came up, we were like, dude, what is Zip Deal? This is going to be crazy. We're going to have to work harder and all that. And come to find out, it was kind of my theory of thinking, man, if you don't ask, you won't receive, kind of a deal. So Zip Deal was a great thing, but I think about every other thing, right? When I think about our vendors, I think about, and I'm not going to say names, right?
Okay.
I'm only going to use one name.
All right,
The rest of the vendors, they know who they are. You know what? I'm going to say names.
Just go there. Let's do it.
I'm going to give kudos. I'm going to give a pat on the back, a hug, a handshake, whatever you want to call it, a well done, beyond well done job to Bob Eckhart and his group over at S&C Automotive. I'm going to tell you right now.
I like it.
If you have a vendor, no matter what they're advertising or what they're selling you, if they are not like Bob Eckhart, you need to get rid of that vendor and you need to call Bob and say, how are you doing what you do and why do you do what you do? Because I want to share with you, Bob takes care of all of our paint protection, interior, windows, insurance things, all those things. He's just a one-stop shop. And I always have appreciated Bob for one thing, the way he does things when it comes to his aftermarket products. I have never been in this business since I've been here, and I've been here 19 years,
right,
that I have not seen Bob in our store at least once a month. Since I've been here in 19 years. He comes in with a product, he presents it to us, he trains us on it, he tells us why it's good, he answers any questions as far as what we think. He actually encourages us to shoot holes in this thing, and then he addresses it personally. He doesn't send someone else. There's no second phase, other than his wife, who is awesome. She's really the brains in this
I was just going to say, we know where that's
100%.
going.
We know she's the brain in this thing, so
Yeah.
I'm not counting her out. I'm going to make Bob look good. She knows that she runs the show, but he comes in consistently. The other thing that is amazing that I absolutely love about Bob is he's always forward thinking, right?
Right.
He's always thinking about the next best thing.
I do.
And he'll come to you and he'll sit down with you, and instead of him just trying to sell it to you, he'll actually come in and present it to you all over again like you're the first time you're his client.
Right.
And I've always just appreciated his in-store presence of training our guys, and just believing in his product to the point where he's willing to sit here month after month.
I will tell you too, he's the kind of person that you call him on a cell and he answers it. He's also the kind of person that if I have somebody that's closer to him than myself and they have an issue or a conversation they want to have, he will have the conversation with them. He'll actually drive to them to show them. He really is. He's done it for me multiple times. And I'm like you, I very much appreciate him. I think he does an awesome job. I also think he has the energy when he comes in.
He's something else.
And he gets you going, right?
What did he say about some rattlesnake juice or something?
I don't know. He goes off on
I don't
stuff
know, man.
sometimes.
He goes
I don't
on a
know.
tangent about some
Comes
things,
back from hunting and he gets all excited, man. I don't know where he's going, but
wherever he goes, he needs to keep going because
I
he
like
does an
it.
awesome job. But,
Yeah.
you know, if you think about your other vendors, right? We have other vendors, and you know, we have some great vendors. I mean, we really do. We got some
Right.
guys that do a good job. I'm just bringing up Bob because Bob does it at another level.
I would agree
I always
with that.
say, everybody makes a good car. Some people just make them better.
right.
S&C, Bob Eckhart is that better when it comes to aftermarket products.
I would
Because
agree
when I
with
think
that
about
as
a lot of my vendors, I see them once a year.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I see them once a year, and that's when they come in and try to get me to recontract.
Right.
Right.
Of course.
Or they bring me Christmas. They bring me cookies, right? They send
Right.
me cookies. Sometimes they just send them. They don't even come in. It just amazes me how they expect me to really push my sales staff and my team to sell their product when my team has no idea who they are.
Right.
Right? You guys
Right.
look forward to selling, Pop's products because he's always here. You know, he's like a part of our family.
Right.
So it makes a big difference. So your vendor, if you're out there, I'm going to tell you right now, you need to make sure that you're functioning this way. And if you're not functioning this way, I'm going to say we're going to have your products, but your product's going to be on page 12.
That's right.
Right? And we usually stop offering our customer that page 10.
I mean, he lit a car on fire showing us training.
Yeah.
I mean, lit it on fire. Come on. now.
Here's a cool thing. Not only did he do that, he invited the customers in
Mm-hmm.
to watch that. If there's a customer in here and they have a question about one of his products, he will go in himself
Yep.
and have that conversation. And
Yep.
he's a great dude, which is I mean that's a whole nother thing.
You
Had
know,
he
he
not
puts
come
out
in
the
so
effort.
much,
He puts out the effort.
100%. And it's
So-
early in the morning, man.
Yeah, he needs to quit doing
I
that.
mean, you know what? He's like that Red Bulls has wings commercial, right?
Or the Energizer Bunny, man. He keeps breaking that drum.
It's something. But here's what I'm gonna say. They should make sure that they're coming in, their vendors coming in and explaining their products. Here's the deal. No one knows your product better than you do.
Makes sense.
So if you create a product and you think it's as great as you say it is, you should stand behind that product and make sure that the company that you're pushing it on understands your product. Because if they don't, let me tell you something. If you don't understand something, you won't sell it.
No.
Right? If you don't believe in it, you won't sell it.
Absolutely not.
Right? If it's just there, and I don't care, guys. You can say whatever you want. Offer them whatever you want. Trust me, when salespeople get to a certain, number,
Right.
financially,
Right.
dude, you can't tempt them with $100 and $200. It's
No.
different, right?
No.
They're in the $1,000 range.
That's right.
So your little $50 bird dog
Yeah.
doesn't mean much to those guys anymore, right? You got to be present. You got to be in there, and you got to tell them why your product is important, right? Give them an
Absolutely.
outlet. That's a great
Absolutely.
thing. So
Absolutely.
I'm gonna tell you something. Find yourself a Bob.
Yeah.
If you're out
If you
there,
find yourself a Bob, well done. Well done.
They're just looking for ways to be great,
Right.
right? With these aftermarket products. So
So before you go any further, I just want to ask you one thing. I do have a question for you. I can do it later if you want, but I'd like to do it.
Yeah, no. Say I pride our podcast, right?
So-
we don't no gray areas.
Because
It's always open.
I don't want to make it ugly after just being beautiful right there, but it might get ugly.
Hey, you know what, me man? I love ugly.
I just have a question for you.
Okay.
So up front, right, it's my job to take care of the customer, correct?
That's your job.
And my job is to get them in the car that they love and they want to take home today.
That is correct.
Okay, so when I get done, I take care of them, and I'm going to say hypothetically here. Let's just keep everything out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Hypothetically speaking,
Okay.
I sell a car, the customer's happy with everything and how it turned out, numbers are good, right?
Okay.
Am I to, on my end, get chopped out at the legs for commissions or anything else to have someone else sell extended warranty or gap or tire and wheel?
Such a nice guy.
I'm just asking.
So let me be clear. I want to be clear, so
I'm just
everybody's,
asking.
Clear. And you know what, me, I don't have any gray areas, and a lot of people will tell you I don't have feelings, but that's not true. I just like to speak the truth, right?
Right.
And if you're offended by something that I say, then I'm probably talking to you, right? So if this hurts your feelings, then I'm probably going right down your street.
Right.
So make sure you unlock your door so I can come in and help you with your problem. Your question to me is that if you sold up front, right,
Right,
as a salesperson,
upfront.
sold something,
Mhm.
and it goes back to, I'm going to say, the finance department.
We can go there.
Should we cut your front end gross
Right.
to sell back end products?
Correct. That is my question. Because
Um,
again, we're trying to take care of the customer, right? But if you don't, my personal opinion, right, I did everything I was supposed to do. I the customer's on the right car, the right payment, they're happy, everything's done, let's go, right? As we talk about other things, extended warranties and whatnot, we know that's an add-on in the backside, right? But isn't it the responsibilities to add on?
Let me help you. I got a few
Help
things.
me out.
A few things is kind of,
You're gonna get me going here.
Right? Right around this vein. The first thing is this. The first thing I'll tell you is yes, we're talking, right? If you're having that conversation with your client, then someone already has messed up.
Right.
Because
Agree
that
with
shouldn't
yes.
be a conversation that the salesperson is having. Unless you're a cradle to a grave store where the salesperson does everything, including finance,
Right.
you should not be having that conversation. And the only payment that you should know about is the payment that went back as far as the actual automobile is concerned, right? So really the conversation we're having right now, we should never have a conversation about VSAs or gap insurance or things like that. The payment is the payment. The other thing I'm going to tell you is this. Finance is a tough job. Okay, I'm going to start by saying that it's not an easy job. It's a tough job because at the front side, when you have really good salespeople, they have a tendency to really, max the customer out when it comes to payment or cost or whatever the case may be. So then they have to sit in your office, and then you have to try to make them have a higher payment, right, and sell them other things.
Correct.
Here's what I'm going to tell you: we sit in this industry and we sit in these different, brick and mortars, right?
Sure.
And we talk about how a customer needs gap insurance because they're upside down and it's the best thing they need and we're just trying to protect the customer. If that is true, and we believe that, why do we have such a hard time getting the customer to understand that? It's all about your sales pitch, right?
Right.
First of all, I'll say it a million times. People buy things from people they know, trust, and they like. Okay. So when you get them in there, you have the same issue that the salesperson had when they first met them. You got to earn their trust. So the first thing I'll tell you is, before that car deal gets back to your office, you probably should go out and talk to them and meet them on the level where they're excited. They're excited in the sales office.
Right.
Go out there so that the first time they see you is not in the office when you're asking them for more money. The other thing I'm going to tell you is this: when you offer them something, make sure they actually need it.
That's what I was kind of getting at.
Make sure they actually need it. Because here's the deal: if they need gap insurance and you can explain it to them why they need it, then that's a conversation you need to be having with them. And you, as a person that actually cares about the customer,
right?
You shouldn't feel bad if they don't take it.
Right.
You tried to get it to them in that thing right there. So we need to sell that on
the
buy
side.
side.
Customer.
The other thing that always gets me is VSAs. Right? Vehicle service agreements. There's so many of them. There's a lot of different makes and models.
Right.
They all look different. They're like cars, right?
Right.
Sometimes some of them have more years, some of them have more miles, that kind of deal. I never understood why salespeople go out and talk to the client about VSAs.
Right.
So many times I hear this in the sales offices when I walk by. Well, I talked to my finance manager and they said it's going to be $3,200 to get that warranty.
Right.
So they are.
And you know what, on my end, if somebody asks me that, well, what's included in it? I don't know.
Right.
I don't know.
I just don't know.
I have no idea.
Again, don't get me wrong. The back, it's a tough job back there.
It
right?
is.
I mean, you really are trying to pour on. But the truth of it is this: if something is great for the consumer, right? We always talk about what's good for the consumer.
Right.
If it's good for the consumer, you have to do a better job. Okay. You have to do a better job of getting them to understand. Man, this is something that I'm getting for you. Because one thing I will tell you is this: if that car breaks down at 4 years and 40,000 miles, the first person that they will call will be their salesperson.
It'll be me.
Right? They will want to know why. You should be able to tell them, hey, you know what? I know for a fact that my finance director talked to you about an extended warranty.
Right.
A VSA, vehicle service agreement.
Right.
You should have taken that. I wanted you to take that. Now, as a salesperson, you need to make sure that you're putting your customer in the best position by telling them, hey, when you get back to your finance, to my finance manager, I want you to listen to what they have to say. I think it's a good idea with the position that you're in that you really consider VSA, vehicle service agreement, and that you really consider wheel and tire because you travel a lot, or you really consider gap insurance because you're upside down. You should have visuals and you should understand these products. And it goes back to what we were talking about earlier. Your finance department should do a really good job of getting in front of you and telling you what it is. Not that you can sell it, but you can present it. Right.
Well, so, and I just on the front end for me, it's more of putting the bug in the ear, right? Or is that the saying? The bug in the ear, the bug. Was it? Hey, you know what I'm saying?
You know, the New England Patriots says it best: do your job.
Right.
If everybody just does their job, you know, the big thing about being successful is you have to understand why you're doing something. right?
Makes
When
sense.
you do
Again,
things,
yeah.
you're better at it if you know the why. Why am I doing it? So I encourage, again, at the finance department, because you're like the last man standing when it comes to asking people for money, right? Have a real vision as to what you're selling.
What the value is.
Don't just
Right.
give them everything. Now, I'm a firm believer in menus. I think you let every customer know what is available, but you should have some kind of feel for, man, all these things are available, right? And if
Right.
you see something you like, but here's a few things I think would be really, really, really beneficial to you. Don't just sell everything, offer everything. Oh man, did you catch that? Let me slow it down for you. Don't just sell everything.
Right.
Offer everything. There should be specific things that you sell because it is beneficial
Right. It is.
to your client.
Makes sense.
Right? And if they pick up a few other things, then great, right?
Okay.
I can tell you, I go back to my buddy Bob. Not everything is rattlesnake juice and whatever he say, all that weird stuff, man.
No, I know what he says.
Can we say that on here? I don't think
No,
we
I
can
don't
say
think
that
we
on
probably
here.
should say that.
But it really is, man. We go, from day one, we talk about caring about our customers and make sure that they're in the best position. But I'm talking about caring for my salespeople and caring for my finance people as well.
Right.
Here's my thing: stay in your lane.
Thank you for saying that.
Stay in your lane.
Yeah.
Your job is to take care of the customer, the client, find them the right vehicle,
Right.
and their job is to get them financed and make sure they're set up for the products that they need going forward. Your salespeople, you should never be in there in the office telling
It puts you in a bad spot up front
well,
when they start to have conversations.
You should never be telling a client that you can't get them financed because they got bad credit. You should never know that. That should be a
Right.
finance department
Right.
thing. You should never be negotiating on a car deal with a VSA in it, or unless the client specifically asks you for that prior to. Unless
Sure.
the client specifically
Sure.
asks you for gap insurance prior to. Then at that point, the salespeople, and even then, if it were me, and if I was making the call, I would still want my finance department to be in there going over those things because there's so many questions. And if you, as a finance department, if you're doing that, let me tell you something. I can walk in any store right now and sit there for the day, and I can tell you if the finance department actually cares or they just there.
Right.
The guys, I used to work with a guy, and I'm not going to throw his name out because he was unbelievable at what he did. But he was so good at what he did because he went out and spoke to people early, right? He got a feel for the car deal
Mhm.
and a feel for the customer prior to getting back to his office.
Mhm.
So when he did get back to his office, he had a real good line on what was most important for
Right.
that customer.
Right.
So, you know what? Get a feel.
Okay.
Hey, if you're just there,
Well, I didn't mean to throw it out.
Yeah, you
there.
did.
I did actually.
Yeah,
I
because
wanted to get your opinion.
it drives me crazy.
Yeah.
It drives me crazy that if you just get really good at your part, man, this thing will run extremely smooth.
Right.
And I think so many people want to cut corners. You understand, man? If you cut enough corners, you'll start chasing your own tail. Right?
Running
And that's
in
what
circles.
happens in this business,
Running in
right?
circles.
You kind of do that. So as a finance department, you just got to get out there. And I think, I'm speaking for all sales managers right now. We understand that that's a tough job. We understand what we're putting you in. But I'm telling you, for every sales manager that's out there, man, he's worked with a really good finance guy. And that's the guy that he patents all of his finance people with. I work with a really good finance guy. So my expectation for how they operate is different. And if they don't operate that way, I'm like, okay, so you're not as good as that guy. And you can take that however you want.
Right.
But that guy was good. And if that guy is good, then you should be good just like him. And if you're not, then you're just not as good as he is. And I'm right. If your feelings are hurt, I'm talking to you.
Right.
I mean, it's just the way it is. But you got to do that. You as a salesperson, you shouldn't be having that conversation.
Well, and I appreciate us going there. It's been bothering me all day. It's been bothering me all day.
Well, so I think about that in this business, and one thing that we really, you have to get to the point in your. Now I'm talking to sales managers, GSMs, owners. I'm talking to you guys right now. You have to make sure that, and I'm calling our store out. Okay, we're going to have to work on this. You have to get to the point where your salespeople can go to anybody in your organization with a concern or a question that directly is from that person. Like,
Right.
I have an issue with that finance person. They should be able to go to that person, have an adult conversation,
Yes, absolutely.
and
They are all
and sit
adults.
down and figure out what's the best calls.
Right.
When you start getting shot down by people, I always tell you guys, don't introduce me. I'm not your boss. We work side by side to get something done.
Right.
Right. At some point, people have to make a decision, and that's where I kind of come in. But the truth of it is, man, we're all just trying to do the same thing. My job's just different.
Yep.
I think titles sometimes change people.
Yeah.
Right. And you put that finance manager tab on there, or that sales manager tab on there, or that parts manager tab on there, and sometimes it does a little different. I watch guys and I see, you know, and I'm gonna pat myself, and I'm gonna pat Josh Holtz, and I'm gonna pat Steve.
Yeah.
Heck, I'm gonna pat Danny Wilson on the back right now. Okay, I will promise you, if you see one of those 4 guys, me, Steve, Josh, if we're in the restroom and the toilet paper or whatever's missing, we're gonna redo it.
Yeah.
We're not gonna call somebody. We're gonna go in there. We're gonna make sure there's napkins in there. We're gonna make sure that the trash is done. It starts at the top, and if the guys at the top understand, hey man, we're here for the cause.
Right.
If you got that,
makes total sense.
dude, everybody's the same way.
It makes total sense.
Right.
Yeah, but I'm just gonna say, I didn't mean to be the Grinch and start throwing stuff out, right? With Christmas coming and everything, but I'm just saying.
When we talked about Midwest Mayhem, the one thing that we talked about we wanted to do is we wanted to have those hard conversations.
Correct.
And I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm gonna say some things that some people don't want me to say. Right, but it needs to be said. If our industry wants to move forward and we want to get better, these conversations we need to have. And I'm gonna tell you, I don't care who's out there. Hey man, call me. You got a conversation, you don't like something, I'll put you out here like this. No, I'm not gonna give you my direct line, but listen, let me tell you how you can contact me though. You can definitely go to our Instagram, right, and reach out. Again, our Instagram is @WilsonofAmes. Reach out, send me a question. You got a concern, man? I would love to talk to you. Let's get together. Let's get one of those. What's the thing called when you do the two-way thing on the telephone, on the telebox? What is that?
FaceTime?
FaceTime. We can do that FaceTime on the telebox. Yeah, man. We can do it on the telebox, right? But let's get together. Let's telebox. Hey, some GMs, you got questions out there? How to get things, man? Let's talk. Let's chat.
Let's do it.
Right? As a team, as an industry, and I don't care. Now, if you're with the #1 manufacturer in the country, if you're with the big dog, right? If you're with Toyota, you know it's all. But anybody, I mean, we definitely want to make sure as an industry, because I will tell you this. No matter who treats the customer wrong, it affects everyone in our industry. And it does. If you think that you're just gonna take that customer and put all this back end product on them, and you're not telling them what it is, and they don't understand,
and they're overwhelmed.
And you know what? Here's the thing. Let me help you. You only get to do that to them once.
That's right.
Right? Because they're gonna go to someone else, and someone's gonna tell them that they got treated bad. Right? If your vision is to only sell the customer one car, then you got a terrible vision. Right? Your vision should be to take care of that customer so they're always in a position to buy from you again. And again, that they trust you, they like you, and they know who you are. Right? But it takes work for you to have a customer for the lifetime. Right? So those are the things we'll get into. We want to get into lifetime customers and what we're doing. Hey man, I appreciate that question. I really do. And you know what? Somebody's going to reach out to me and they're not going to be happy.
I'm hoping if you all are in that spot, that you feel like you can have the conversations one-on-one.
But I'm gonna tell you, man. Hopefully you can. And I'm gonna tell you, anybody that don't like what I said and they want to come talk to me, I know I'm sitting down. I just want you to know, it is 6'2" and it is 280 pounds. So you do what you want to do with that. So again, I just want to say thanks, Wilson Toyota, for allowing us the space and sponsoring this. Great. I'm just having so much fun on this.
Thank you, Wilson
Again,
Toyota.
Instagram and Twitter is @WilsonofAmes. Facebook and TikTok is @WilsonToyotaofAmes. And again, I cannot leave this without thanking our great producer, Bradley. She didn't throw anything at me today, so that's awesome. Join us again next week, man. I got some good stuff. I'm going to talk leasing next week. Leasing. I know, you guys got big, right? You know me, I'm the leasing king. I love it. We're going to talk leasing, so make sure you join in. If you got leasing questions you want to do, I'll guarantee you, by the time we get done next time, you're going to understand what a lease is. And the consumer, you're going to understand why you should be leasing, right? So we want to do that.
Happy holidays to everyone.
Happy holidays, enjoy things, and hey, come back and check me out. Check Chad out.
Hey,
check us out.
5'9" on a good day.
Hey, thank you again for joining us with Midwest Mayhem.
Thank you much.
It's been joy. I'm a bad man.
I will step on your head.
Guys,
That was great.
your phone started buzzing on
His
the
phone.
table.
Huh?
I go,
His phone.
I'm like trying to figure out what it is, and your phone is just,
Did you take care of it?
I was like this.
You held it?
His
That's why I turned my back to her. So I can't see what's
My phone
happening.
was a buzzer.
I was buzzing.
I told you I would take it out, and you said, no, just put it over here.
Well, that would have been worse, buddy, if it was on the table.
Hey, buddy, don't tell me you didn't record. You recorded, I know you did. No, he recorded. I know he did.
Don't lie to me
You
right
did.
now.
I know you did.
Oh, bro.
No.